Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports Saturday in, and these are going to be the final power rankings of the regular season. The regular season just concluded with week 18, and what a season it was. We had Triple Crown winner. We had spectacular play from the Detroit Lions and Kansas City Chiefs, looking like a three-piece. Then we had some downfalls. My Chicago Bears on a 10-game losing streak. Then you had the Jacksonville Jaguars downslide. You had the Bengals start slow and all that. It's a lot to get into with the end of season rankings. Without further ado, let's dive into it. These are my rankings from last week, the week 18 rankings, and now that we're at the end of the season, I can tell you guys things are going to change. So let's just get right into it. First up, we had the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns, and this game went kind of how I thought it was expected. The Browns are D, the Ravens are an S tier, at least in my opinion. They're clicking high at the right time, playing good defense, and Lamar Jackson's playing another MVP level season. Derrick Henry Offensive Player of the Year level season. Then the Browns, they have quarterback issues all year. The defense didn't live up to what we thought. And on top of that, they had a bunch of injuries, whether it's Nick Chubb missing time, whether it's Denzel Ward missing time from the Ohio State University. And they traded Amari Cooper mid-season, and they just didn't get any quarterback play. So, next is the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm putting the Bengals at B, and the Steelers, over the last couple of weeks, I have to drop them because offensively, they've taken a nosedive. They are not the same offense that we thought they would be. Defensively, they can still make stops. Offensively, they just cannot score consistently, and I don't know why Arthur Smith is getting head coaching consideration, especially what the Steelers' offense has not been doing all season. So, I love that the Bengals play hot next season, but their early season slump cost them a playoff spot at this point. But Joe Burrow played MVP level football down the stretch. Jamar Chase, Triple Crown runner. And that defense did play better down the stretch. It was just too little too late for the Bengals. Next, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. I had the Panthers at D. I'm going to keep them at D. And the Falcons, I had them at B. I'm keeping the Falcons at a B. Now, Falcons, I think their season, I think they should have played Michael Penix Jr. Maybe a couple of weeks sooner. The defense did play solid. They did play decent offense. They looked hot to start the season, but Kirk Cousins' play just diminished. And when we're talking about Carolina Panthers, they were all over the place. They benched Bryce Young, but I think that turned out to be the better for him. He got things together, and he played some really good football down the stretch, and he gave the Panthers something to build on towards next year. Next, we got the Washington Commanders, who are heading into the playoffs, putting them at A. Dallas Cowboys, D. Cowboys' issues were the same issues that's cost them in the playoffs with the year before, which was they don't have a running game. Check. They're not good defensively, especially in the interior. Check. And they did do anything to address it. And then on top of that, Dak Prescott gets hurt. CD Lamb's dealing with injuries. They got defensive injuries, whether it was Overstreet, whether it was Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, missed a ton of time. So when you combine, you have holes and then injuries, you get the Dallas Cowboys season. And Mike McCarthy is probably going to be out, but I don't care what head coach is coming in there. It's not fixing the Cowboys until Jerry Jones kind of delegates it. And then we're talking about the Commanders. Jaden Daniels played phenomenal for a rookie quarterback. Robinson in the running game. Their defense led by Bobby Wagner as the captains played good. Well, they had their sporadic moments, but Commanders nonetheless, the things they've done offensively with Jaden Daniels and developing them, that's why they're a playoff team. Next is the Bears versus the Packers. Keeping the Bears at D, and I'm keeping the Packers at A. I know the Packers going to play a lot of the guys, especially later on. I know Jordan Love ended up getting hurt, and it's coming out now that Christian Watson's possibly tore his ACL. That's going to be a big hurt. But overall, they relied on Josh Jacobs in the running game this year. Their defense did create a lot of turnovers this season. And Jordan Love had his struggles early in his injuries as well, but he played better down the stretch. And then the Bears, season was not what we thought it would be. We thought this team would be competing for a playoff spot, and they got in their own way in a couple of games this year. Caleb, he had his up and down moments, but you expect that from a rookie. Defensively, they didn't play good down the stretch. And then you fire Matt Eberflus during the season. You fire Shane Waldron, which was, I think, was not the best hire for what we had. So, and then everything just fell to crap. 10-game losing streak. I can talk about the Bears all day, but I'll do a video on that. Next, we're going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Colts. Jaguars, they fired Doug Peterson, which we are waiting on. Colts, and I just think the Colts, what I feel about the Colts is this is a very average football team. Defensively, they had the injuries. Buckner missed some time. Offensively, they just struggled. Anthony Richardson struggled early. At bench, came back and played a little better, similar to Bryce Young. But I just think they just did not play consistent football, and it was a very average team at best, honestly. And they just haven't been able to get the running game going. Jonathan Taylor, he had his moments, but he's never been the same player. And defensively, it's just an average football team. Next, we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills, who I think is one of the better teams of football. They didn't play anybody last week, so we get at pass. Patriots fired Gerard Mayo, but I kind of understand it. I don't like it because this team wasn't talented to begin with. It was just the way things looked. It was just like, okay, things aren't looking good. They're not as competitive. We do have in New England Drake May something to build off of, but I do like. I have to see where the direction they go, but I do like the building block of Drake May. Then the Bills. They've been a team I've been on since a couple years ago. Josh Allen, I think, should be the league MVP. If it ain't Lamar Jackson, it's definitely Josh Allen. And what he's done without Diggs, what he's done without Gabe Davis, then the defense lost a lot. I'm giving MVP to Josh Allen. Next, we're going to have the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants, I think they should have fired Dable. Should have fired Shonen too. Because what they've done with this team is criminal. What they've done with this offense is criminal. Then the Eagles, still one of the better teams in the NFL. Their defense played way better down the stretch than what they did last year. Offensively, they played some really good football. Saquon Barkley is an MVP discussion, definitely Offensive Player of the Year. And then the passing game had its issues, but they got it back together. But that defense played significantly better than down the stretch.
Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online? The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with the ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up, but you can switch your location to Canada, and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below, and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video.
Saints and Bucks, putting the Saints at A. The Bucks at A, and the Saints are at the D tier. What Baker Mayfield has done with his offense and what he's been playing phenomenal football as of late. Defensively, they've been playing a lot better. Vita Vea in that interior has been a monster. And Levante David is still playing some really good football. And offensively, I really liked what they've been doing with Bucky Ergen. Shout out to Bucky, Hillcrest High School. And Rashad White in the running game. Even with the losses of Mike Evans during the time, Chris Godwin to the ankle, they still play good offense. And shout out to Baker Mayfield playing good football. Next, the Houston Texans and Tennessee Titans. I'm keeping the Texans at B. And the Titans, they just got to get a quarterback. They got to get a quarterback. Defensively, they have some pieces. But offensively, they need to get some receiver help. They need to get a quarterback. I think they just need a quarterback. And then we're talking about the Texans. C.J. Stroud had not had from the Ohio State University. Had not had the good season that we thought he was going to be. It doesn't help that he had Tank Dell, that scary, significant injury. Nico Collins missed time. Stephon Diggs went down. And the offensive line has not been a good offensive line this year like we thought they were going to be. So, and then that defense, they had their moments. But I think they won that division by default. But we shall see how they perform in the playoffs. Next, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they lost last week, but they ain't playing nobody. We don't care. Then the Denver Broncos. I'm keeping the Broncos at B. Even though they made the playoffs, I do like what Bo Nix has developed into. I do like what the job that Sean Payton is doing. That defense with Zach Allen, that defense with Patrick Surtain, one of the better defenses in the league. And they have been playing some really good football. And shout out to Sean Payton and Bo Nix. I really like what Bo Nix has become. Rookie of the Year candidate along with Jaden Daniels. Next, we're going to have Seattle versus the Rams. Seattle, I'm leaving at B. And the Rams, I'm putting at A. The Rams really don't. The Rams scare me. When they're hot, they're getting healthy. The team is clicking. They might have lost, but they didn't play many of their players. But in that defense, young defense is playing significantly good football. I really like the Rams to be very scary, and they could challenge Minnesota in their first round wild card playoff matchup. In Seattle, they just fired the offensive coordinator. And the one thing I do like about Seattle, Jackson Smith and Jibba from the Ohio State University did perform better lately down the stretch. So I like what they're doing. But we'll have to see what they think about Geno. And I think they probably need some significant different pieces on the offensive line and probably get some upfront pass rush help because they haven't been getting after the quarterback consistently. Next, we're going to have the Chargers and the Raiders. Chargers, A tier. Raiders, D tier. The Raiders, they just need a damn quarterback. Max Crosby, we're not sure. I know what Max Crosby is, but they got to build something on that defensive side of the ball. They do have a scheme, but offensively, they need a damn quarterback, and that's really what it comes down to. Brock Bowers, special at that tight end position. They definitely need some more receiver help, and they need some more running back help. I just think first thing they need to do is go and get a damn quarterback. Point blank, period. And then talking about a team like the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh's come in. And we've noticed Justin Herbert is using his legs a little bit more this season. J.K. Dobbins from the Ohio State University. Gus Edwards on the running game. Top defense. Derwin James played really good football. Khalil Mack kind of turned out the clock a little bit. And that offensive line is very solid. I think they still need a little bit more receiver help. But I really like what this Chargers team is doing. The Dolphins, I'm moving the Dolphins down to a C. Jets still at D. Jets this season has been more of a roster than a football team. And then when we're talking about the Dolphins, it's just a toe injury I think hurt them a lot. Tyreek Hill talking about he wants out, but we'll see how that goes. Then we're talking about a defense that I never really believed in that defense, and we kind of see why. They're just so inconsistent defensively. And the Jets, on the other hand, was that Aaron Rodgers' last game? I think so. The Cardinals and the 49ers. Cardinals C, 49ers D. Cardinals were very inconsistent this season offensively, especially passing the football. They had moments, but they were inconsistent. The defense did play a little bit better at times. And if you guys know, I have told you guys, never been the biggest fan of Kyler Murray. Never. It's not like he's a bad quarterback, but I'm just not the biggest fan. He is inconsistent for me. And then we're talking about San Francisco 49ers. They was just done in by injuries. Brian Purdy, yes, he didn't have the greatest of years, but they were done in by the injury bug. Where we talking about Greenlaw, Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, Pearsall, McCaffrey. Goriendo had injuries. Jordan Mason. You name it, this team has just been injury bug. Nick Bosa had injuries from the AFC invasion. This team has just been bug with injuries. And the talk of firing Kyle Shanahan is absolutely blasphemous. Pure blasphemy. And then last but not least, we had the Lions and the Vikings. And the only reason I'm dropping the Vikings down is because of the way that game looked. That did not look like a good game. And then on top of that, they haven't had a significantly great season. You know what? I'm going to move them up to this. Still a 14-win football team. But that game didn't look good. They missed drives in the red zone. They didn't capitalize on scoring opportunities. Defensively, they did get out the golf, create some turnovers, but they weren't able to consistently stop the Lions winning game. Then the Lions, on the other hand, I've always said, one of the more complete teams in football. Even despite the injuries, they did a good job on Addison and Jefferson. Then on top of that, Jahmyr Gibbs had a phenomenal day. Jared Goff had his struggles at times, but he was still able to push the football down the field with this football team and to get them to bye the first time they've ever had the number one trade in franchise history. But these are my end of season rankings. I know it's probably going to be some controversy. I know you guys probably going to say different, but these are my end of season rankings. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Love you guys. Season's over with. I hate it, but that's just life. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Still got more content coming.